welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video for you on the discrete items. I will be focusing on the 2009 specimen paper, items 1 to 15. I won't be looking at items 16 to 20 because I already did a video for that section. So if you want to go and watch, I'll link the card above. Items 1 to 5. Instructions. Each sentence in this section has one underlined word. Choose from the 4 options the word which is closest to opposite in meaning to the underlined word. It is very important that we look closely at the instructions. We are looking for words that are closest to opposite. Let's get right into answering. Item 1. The guest speaker's words reinforced the view that capital punishment can influence the rate of crime in a country. The word reinforced in this sentence means supported or strengthened. When looking for the answers, it is very important that you pay attention to context because you don't want to select an answer which is inappropriate because you chose a word that does not fit the context of the sentence. The answer options are A. Destroyed, B. Damaged, C. Demolished, and D. Dispelled. Options A, B, and C, those words, they mean the same thing. They all mean to destroy or to ruin. The word dispelled, however, means to dismiss or to eliminate. So, in the sentence, if you do not reinforce the view, then you dismiss it. So the answer is D, dispelled. Item 2. The barren land was as a result of agricultural practices that have been passed down from generation to generation. The answer options are A. Stony, B. Fertile, C. Infertile, and D. Unproductive. Imagine that you planted some crops on a piece of land looking like this, and you're just waiting for the crops to grow, and you wait, but they are still not growing, and you wonder, what is wrong with this piece of land? Everything I plant on this land does not grow. What is wrong with it? It is barren. Nothing grows there. Now, a contrast would look like this. This type of land is the opposite of a barren land. So, which word do you think we should use? Stony means that it is unfriendly or hostile. Fertile means that it is fruitful. Infertile and unproductive are synonyms of barren. Therefore, those two can't be the answer. If a piece of land is not barren, it is fertile. So the answer is B. Item 3. The affluence displayed in the beachside communities indicated the significant difference in economic status from dwellers in the city. The answer options are A. Misery, B. Wealth, C. Poverty, and D. Richness. So if you live in a community looking like this, it means that you live in a rich or a wealthy community. The opposite of rich is poor, therefore the answer is C. Poverty. Item 4. John's parents acknowledged that his recent behavior was contemptible and therefore deserved the outcome. Contemptible means disgraceful. The answer options are A. Correct, B. Regretful, C. Trustworthy, D. Commendable. Correct means right. Regretful means sorry. Trustworthy means honest. and commendable means deserving of praise. Therefore, if your attitude or your behavior is not disgraceful, it is commendable. So the answer is D. Item 5. He was always adept at evading questions at interviews, and that skill was often needed to reduce conflict. The answer options are A. Polite, B. Careless, C. Unskilled, D. Convincing. If you read the sentence carefully, you would realize that there is a synonym for the underlined word present. The word adept means skillful or talented. So what this sentence is basically saying is that this man was very skillful at dodging questions at interviews. Polite means well-mannered, careless means negligent, unskilled means that you're not talented, and convincing means persuasive. Therefore, the obvious choice is C, unskilled. Items 6 to 10. Instructions. Each sentence in this section is followed by 4 sentences, A, B, C, and D. Choose the one nearest in meaning to the original sentence. Be sure to read all 4 options before you select your answer. Item 6. When Mr. Peets was transferred on promotion from South Point to Maraval, Mrs. Adams succeeded him. So Mr. Peets got the promotion at Maraval, and Mrs. Adams got the position that Mr. Peets had at South Point. A says, Mrs. Adams worked at Maraval after Mr. Peets left on promotion. That one is incorrect. Mrs. Adams never worked at Maraval. B says, Mr. Peets was succeeded by Mrs. Adams when he was promoted to a post at Maraval. B sounds like the answer, but let us check C and D. C says, both Mr. Peets and Mrs. Adams were transferred on promotion. Mr. Peets to Maraval and Mrs. Adams to South Point. Only one person was transferred, and that is Mr. Peets. D says, in order to be promoted, Mr. Peets had to be transferred to Maraval to allow Mrs. Adams to work at South Point. D is not the answer because Mrs. Adams was already working at South Point. So the sentence nearest in meaning to the original sentence is B. Item 7. Recent floods have made the route impassable. As a result of the floods, the roads have been blocked. Let us now find a sentence that is close to this one. A says, people are unable to travel because of the floods. No, the original sentence did not say that people aren't able to travel. It's just that they are not able to cross the road because of the blockage. B says, the road cannot be used as a result of the floods. This sentence sounds very close to the original, but let us check C and D. C says, traveling has been brought to a standstill because of floods. This one is also incorrect because you are still able to travel, it's just that you are not able to pass. D says, because of heavy showers, commuters were forced to detour. No, they are not forced to detour because the original sentence did not say anything like that. Therefore, the equivalent sentence is B. The road cannot be used as a result of the floods. Item 8. The competitors in the long jump event were daunted by the performance of Kevin Jones. So in this sentence, Kevin Jones would be like a Usain Bolt. Many athletes became discouraged when they were supposed to run with him because he's the fastest man alive. Daunted in this sentence means to be discouraged or to be intimidated. So due to the fact that Kevin Jones performed so well, the others felt like they could not match up with him. Let us now find the sentence which is nearest in meaning to the original. A says, Kevin Jones was the best participant in the long jump event. While this may be true, it does not talk about the other competitors and how they felt. B says, no one expected to do better than Kevin Jones in the long jump. Yes, they were trying to do better, however, they were discouraged. D says, since Kevin Jones jumped so well, the other competitors in the event were discouraged. The sentence nearest in meaning is D. This sentence talks about the performance of Kevin Jones as well as how the other competitors felt. Item 9. An interest in their nation's development plans should be displayed by its young people. So this sentence is saying that young people should develop an interest in their nation's development. A says, young people should take an interest in the plans for national development. This sounds like what I just said. However, let us check the other options. B says, national development is dependent upon the youth. B is completely off. C says, young people ought to be aware of plans for the purpose of national development. This one is not correct either because it says young people ought to be aware. We are looking for a sentence that says that young people should have an interest. D says, the nation will advance through plans purposed by its young people. This one is far-fetched as well. The answer is A. Young people should take an interest in plans for national development. Item 10. In spite of their size, whales are no longer an even match for man. So even though whales are huge, they can't really defend themselves. A says, whales are no longer even a match for man. This is not the answer because it does not talk about the size of the whales. The word even is also used differently in the sentence. B says, men are no longer a match for whales in spite of their size. Now this is the opposite of the original sentence, so this is not correct. C says, because of their size, whales should be better able to hold their own against man. While this is true, this is not what the original sentence says. D says, although they are large, whales can no longer adequately defend themselves against man. That's your answer, D. I did a video on items 11 to 15, so you can always click the card above and watch. The same applies for items 16 to 20. Items 21 to 25. Select the option A, B, C, or D that best describes each of the sentences and mark your choice on your answer sheet. Based on the sentences, you have 4 options to choose from. A, the sentence is acceptable as it stands. B, the sentence contains clichés or misused metaphors. C, the sentence is incorrect grammatically or faulty in diction. And D, the sentence is too wordy, that is, repetitive or contains redundancies. Item 21. In my opinion, I think that your suggestion to upgrade housing facilities in rural areas is impractical. The answer is D. The sentence contains a redundant phrase. In my opinion and I think mean the same thing. Item 22. It is his view, and one which he strongly holds, that constitutionally elected governments should not be toppled by force of arms. The answer is A. The sentence is acceptable as it stands. Item 23. When the clerk raised his voice in protest, his boss asked him to hold his tongue, since empty vessels made the most noise. The answer is B. There are clichés in the sentence. Hold his tongue and empty vessels made the most noise. Item 24. The extremely extravagant girl was so animated, cheerful, and high-spirited, she was invited to many parties. The answer is C. The sentence is incorrect grammatically. Item 25. Is it any wonder why the children that Miss Brown knows behave like delinquents when they have a heroine that thinks the worst of them and their kind? The answer is also C. This sentence is incorrect grammatically. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, leave a comment down below. I wish you all the best on your exams.